If you thought that the big American companies were unethical, wait until you learn about their Russian counterparts. With much less regulation and many more crimes, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between a legitimate Russian business and the Mafia. So stick around as we count down the 10 most evil Russian tech companies. Number 10. Yandex. The first one is the Russian version of Google. Yandex is one of Russia's biggest tech firms that is a leader in e-commerce, food delivery, as well as an online marketplace. That's why it was a big worry when it was revealed that they had been working closely with the Kremlin. In 2019, when the government first asked Yandex to hand over its encryption keys, they refused. It would have exposed all their users' data to the prying eyes of the Russian government. So far, so good. But if we look a little further back in time to 2011, it's a little too late for redemption. The company confirmed that they shared confidential data with the FSB. Oh, and those encryption keys? They reached an agreement with the FSB to provide information significant for the state. Unfortunately, the agreement isn't public, but it all points to the Russians having even more control over user data in tech companies. Number 9. Russian Cyber Mafia. We still watch movies and TV shows about the Mafia in New York, but times have changed. These days, most of the crime is committed online, and the biggest network is the Russian Cyber Mafia. Former KGB spies formed the Russian Business Network in the 1990s, and it has become one of the biggest cybercrime organizations in Russia. These are the kinds of organizations that committed the massive Sony hack that accessed 77 million customers' information, and the Citigroup hack that stole $2.7 million. They have divisions specifically for each task, like hacking and ransomware. Vladimir Putin and his government are aware of many of the groups, and have been using them as a bargaining chip with the United States. Number 8. Gazeta.ru. Someone once said, "Whoever controls the media controls the mind." And it's hard to disagree. In Russia, it's clear who owns most of the newspapers. One of the biggest online news providers is Gazeta.ru. Since 2020, it has been owned by Sberbank, which is a state-owned company and has over 280,000 employees. Over the last 10 years, Gazeta has been used to run disinformation campaigns, support the actions of Vladimir Putin, and to attack his political enemies. It must be nice to have one of the most popular newspapers on your side at all times. Number 7. Across the aisle. It's not just inside Russia that Putin has an influence. The Russian government also controls many international companies. Last year alone, more than 600 companies were set up in Britain that are secretly owned by Russia. It is part of a network of companies that are used to evade sanctions and hide money from Russian oligarchs. One of the people targeted by recent sanctions is the former owner of the Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich, who had his assets frozen by the UK government. Part of that network is a huge chunk of real estate. It is estimated that £1.5 billion of property in the United Kingdom were owned by Russians with ties to the Kremlin. So, if you live there and have noticed property prices going up, Putin might be to blame. Number 6. Underclass Nikki. Earlier this year, Russia banned Facebook and Instagram. For some millennials, that might have been enough to flee the country. But there are alternatives in Russia. One of those is called Underclass Nikki, also known as OK. It might be a mouthful for English speakers, but there are over 200 million users on the platform. But probably all of those people don't know exactly who has access to their data. In 2017, a member of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine confirmed that the FSB can see everybody's personal information that uses the platform. This led to the country banning the service for its citizens. That wasn't a popular move either. According to a poll, 66% of people were totally against the banning of OK. If only it were the people making the decisions. Number 5. VK. If you are wondering if Russia has its own version of Facebook, the answer is yes. It's called VKontakte, or VK for short. Last year, they recorded over 600 million users. It was founded by Pavel and Nikolai Durov. who are free speech advocates and also created the messaging platform Telegram, who have become billionaires from the company. Pavel acted as CEO of the company since they founded it in 2006, but 8 years later in 2014, he was kicked out. Durov said that Vladimir Putin's allies had forced him out of the company and taken control. This was a response to him refusing to cooperate with the FSB and his support for infamous Putin opponent Alexei Navalny. Last year, the new CEO, Boris Dobrodev, also resigned, which completed the government's takeover. Since then, the company has been accused of working closely with the Kremlin and hiding media that is against the government. Can you imagine the US government taking over Facebook? Number 4. Kaspersky. Could antivirus software be a bigger risk than the virus itself? Kaspersky is a cybersecurity and antivirus company that is based in Moscow. Some of their research has been incredibly valuable for companies to protect themselves against hackers. But not everything is as it seems. There have been many accusations of Kaspersky working with the Russian security service in covert and illegal ways. That is why the United States has prohibited any Kaspersky products from being used in their government. They suspect that Putin is using the company to gain access to foreign networks. Eugene Kaspersky, the founder of the company, worked for the Russian government, and he has ties to the KGB. In 2017, it was alleged that Kaspersky Labs was used by the Russian government to get access to classified documents through an NSA contractor's personal computer. That's a good reminder to not take your work home with you. Number 3. Positive Technologies. Despite what the name suggests, Positive Technologies is not all good. It's a Russian cyber company with more than $1 billion and has been at the forefront of cybersecurity research for years. But like many of the tech companies on the list, sometimes research is used to cover more sinister activities. An investigation by the United States found that Positive Technologies was helping the Russian Secret Service with hacking techniques and giving them more ways to attack their enemies. On top of that, the company might be helping to staff the FSB. Each year, Positive Technologies holds an event called Positive Hack Days, which apparently is used by the Russian government to recruit new agents. So, next time you are at a conference, be careful who you accept a job from. Number 2. Advanced System Technologies. Advanced System Technologies, or AST, is an IT service provider that works with both public and private businesses. The company has been around for 20 years and is headquartered in Russia's capital, Moscow. Their website states that they have licenses from the FSB to work on cutting-edge technology. Plus, their clients include the Russian Ministry of Defense and the FSB. Sounding suspicious? Well, the US certainly thought so. Last year, the United States Treasury Department listed AST as one of the 6 Russian tech companies providing direct support to the FSB. They wouldn't be a problem if they were innocent, but the FSB has been shown to be behind some of the biggest cyber attacks in America, including a huge one in 2020 that targeted several organizations, including the US Treasury Department and the US Department of Commerce, and Microsoft. Number 1. Era Technopolis. Russia has an army of hackers and security researchers, but that army needs tools to fight a war. A lot of those tools come from the company Era Technopolis. It focuses on research and development, simulations, and experiments. It works closely with the Russian military to produce cutting-edge cyber warfare weapons and knowledge. Era Technopolis is actually a facility that houses a range of smaller organizations, too. It covers 240,000 square meters, and there are over 50 companies in the complex. Can you imagine going to work knowing that some of the most sensitive information in the world could be right next door? We can only imagine that the security level is very high. Did you recognize any of the companies on this list? What do you think can be done to stop evil Russian tech companies? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and want more, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.